All right, in this episode, we talk about heavy load Olympic lifting.
And why Alex Brown is only throwing 85.
Brent Porcio, Stephen Godani, the at Top Velocity hashtag pitching tips show, where you go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and at Top Velocity hashtag pitching tips, you ask your question on anything we do here, anything about pitching, and we're gonna answer it on the show. We like to ask you to subscribe, share this video, help us get this show out, and we wanna keep it going and also get us some more questions. That we've had a great run so far. So we've got a couple of questions today. So what's our first question we're gonna tackle today? Fill this in asks, are heavy load snatches good for increasing pitching velocity? All right, that's a good question. So the only thing with snatches is that you have to have really superior shoulder strength. And studies show pitchers have weaker shoulders than position players. Pitchers have weaker shoulders than I think the general population. So it's something that we have to build up to snatches. So I definitely don't put that in the 3X pitching velocity program in the level 1. It comes later on in level 3. It's something where you've obviously proven that you have some good shoulder strength, build it to stabilize some good weight. So for heavy loading up there, I mean, come on. You've probably had to have been Olympic lifting for at least 2 to 3 years until I would recommend that. So definitely not a part of our beginner or our first level programs. It comes later on. Is it beneficial? Of course it will be. Garhammer showed about 3,200 watts of power came out of the snatch, but 5,500 came out of the jerks and the clean. So obviously more power in those, but the snatch is unique. It's different. It puts you more in a challenging position, so it's harder to generate power, but I think it hits more mobility, joint stability, and things like that. It's still a great total body exercise, athletic exercise, but it's something we would bring later on as you advance in the shoulder strength and stability. Anything you want to add to that, or you want to move on to the next one?
I personally just haven't really done the snatch all that much. Not that I don't think I have like the shoulder strength for it, but just like Brent is saying about the power production just in the clean and jerk and stuff. And the jerk is another one. We do power jerks that's really good for shoulder stabilization, but some guys just love the snatch too. So if you want to do it, it does help pitching velocity for the power output and shoulder strength. So if you're into that, you can.
But just really make sure you have good upper body strength to handle.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a question. It's a follow-up question that we're going to tackle on this show.
Alex Brown asked, I can squat 385 pounds, bench 245 pounds, and clean 245 pounds. How hard should I be throwing? Okay. And then he's 6 feet, 205 pounds.
So Alex Brown is 6 feet, 205 pounds. He squats 385. He benches 245, and he cleans 245, okay? How hard should he throw? So if I was looking at those measurements, I would say you're probably a mid-80s guy, maybe. Yeah, I'd say you should be a mid-80s guy. Now, of course, that doesn't mean I know your mechanics. That would be another important thing. You could have bad mechanics and be a low 80s guy.
And poor mobility.
Poor mobility too. You could be a high 70s guy. So the range would be somewhere high 70s to high 80s if you have really good mobility, really good mechanics. I mean, even maybe into the low 90s. So, I mean, it really depends on how well the other components are matching up. But just on that overall, with the average guy who comes in here, I'm gonna say mid-80s. You're probably a mid-80s guy. So tell me if I'm wrong, Alex. But what would make you in the 90s would be, I'd like to see a 400 squat plus. I'd like to see you get close to 300 on the bench. Just gives me an assessment of upper body strength. And I'd definitely like to see you high 2s on a power clean. I got to 295 to get into the low 90s. Kevin got over 300 to get into the low 90s without a UCL. And other guys that were taller didn't have to go as high. So since I'm a 6-footer, 6'1", and you're gonna have to be a high 2s guys with your power clean. That would get you there. Plus, the more mobility you can get, hip internal rotation, trunk rotation, hip adduction, dorsiflexion, all those things that just make this convert better, plus your ability to move your body, your motor control better, more hip to shoulder separation, a more explosive lower half drive, a good trunk movements. All that really also drives it up as well. So this would be your base, get it up to where I said for the 90s, and then enhance all those other things, and you'll be guaranteed where you want to be. Anything on that?
It's good.
All right, so thanks for sending those questions in. If you have a question, go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Top Velocity, hashtag pitching tips. Ask your question about anything we do here, Top Velocity, or anything on pitching, and we're gonna answer it on the next episode. So.
Boys.